Okay, you're all set.
Super. Well, hey, welcome to What's All the Hype. I appreciate everyone logging in today and taking advantage of the topic today. I found that this topic is really, really important to discuss with a lot of our agents doing residential and other people in the office, because I think what happens is that commercial real estate becomes this kind of idea out there like, ooh, commercial real estate sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like big deals. People immediately start doing their, 2.5% and 3% times whatever you think the largest transaction would be out there, millions and millions of dollars. But really, I really don't know how to identify opportunities, and then I don't know what to do with them once I catch them. And what do I do with that information, and how do I process, and how do I make it part of if I was thinking out loud as someone like this, now how to make it part of generating some income and GCI dollars on an annualized basis for myself? And how does that look, and what does it look like, and how to identify them, and without having to work or work at it full time. And so that's what I want to kind of address today in doing this today. And I think that hopefully it'll help you. It's not an extensively long time today, but I think that it will be helpful for identifying those opportunities that come inside your window during your marketing of residential and opportunities and people that you talk to. So what little, I guess, a little background is that when we look at, let's say today, if you were to look at places like LoopNet or Crexy, if you've ever checked that out online, what you see listed today is about 1% of all the opportunities in commercial that are out there. And that goes for commercial investment real estate, not to mention what business opportunities there are for people that are selling and buying businesses. So when you see a lot of these listings out there, only really about 1% of the total markets out there in the tech world, in these syndicated sites that are listings that we see. And a lot of this opportunity that we have is really about your day-to-day activities and not about what you see listed or signs you drive by. But the interest in commercial real estate is so great right now. And just like residential, there's very few opportunities that come up in certain regions and in certain asset classes that we have, whether that's apartment buildings or industrial, whatever it may be. But there's opportunities that are right in front of you every day. And leveraging your travels and what you see can absolutely help you get opportunities and looking for what may be out there that's not currently listed, those off-market opportunities. And I was looking at some data here, if I can just bring this up here, just to give you an idea. One of the things that's interesting, and the reason I say this is because making it part of your gross commission dollars throughout the year as opportunities and referral fees to people in the commercial space is because the cost of being a commercial agent or broker is significantly higher than it is becoming one for residential. I would tell you that the average amount of money that it costs per year for, let's say, me to be here today and all the technology that we use, excluding, let's say, rent that I pay to be in an office, exceeds $35,000 a year. And that's just to be here. So, I mean, that gives you an idea of the kind of money you could spend in advertising, technology leveraging. I just for an example, I use 3 different platforms to cross-reference information for commercial opportunities. And each one of those is very, very expensive per month. So to jump into commercial real estate and the transactional nature of an escrow lasting longer than 6 months or 90 days has its nuances to your cash flow, how much money you have in the bank, and can be relatively painful if you were to do it full time. That's why it's a really good opportunity to be able to identify them during your work and course of work as a residential person, and being able to make money by referring it out to or learning or possibly being part of the transaction, depending on what your time or your interest is. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, because if I had known that when I was starting out in real estate and doing more residential, I would have identified these opportunities a lot, let's just say early on in my career, and that would have probably been beneficial and would have made a little bit more money putting, maybe 10-15% of my income into commercial deals on referrals and so forth. So that's really part of why I thought it was a really good opportunity today to talk about those things. Identifying real estate opportunities is as simple as driving by and seeing apartment building, for example, okay, or an apartment building that you used to live in. Let's use that as an example. Let's say, for example, you know someone, yourself live in one, have lived in one, or drove by one in an opportunity of an apartment building. Let's say there's a 20-unit large apartment building. You drive by and you see there's a for rent sign, right? So you take down the number, and then you would call on that to see what the rents are going for, and say, hey, what is that renting for? Oh, and so on and so forth. And then maybe depending on who's doing it, asking them the questions like, how many are available? Can I see one? So on and so forth. And you get to understand that, hey, this apartment building is something that is for rent, and there may be an opportunity here. I'll let my commercial guy know or gal know that this is going on, and then give them the number and see what they can do with it. Because every opportunity for us is an opportunity. Sometimes we don't see it. Maybe we are overlooking it one reason or another. And just giving us that phone number and saying, I drove by here, they seem to have a lot for rent. Something's going on there. Here's a phone number. Hopefully this will help. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to make money. I mean, it's that simple. And sometimes those opportunities are hiding from you as well. So what do I mean by that? I mean, you can be sitting down with somebody that's talking about, I need to find a place to live. And finding a place to live means they're going to be out there looking for places to rent, places to buy, depending. And you can get a lot of information from those people as well, because the interest in multifamily right now is huge. And because it's so expensive to live, some of those opportunities in multifamily are much cheaper than they are to, let's say, renting a house, where you could rent a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment much for less money than you can rent a house for right now, because the rentals and houses are extremely expensive as well. And I know people are looking for larger amounts of square footage, but depending on their budget, talking to those people can, help you out understanding where they're looking and where they've possibly put in applications as well. So when we talk about opportunities in real estate and commercial opportunities, office buildings always come up. We work in an office building, and there's always opportunity there as well, because we do leases. So if you were to see a sign and say, hey, this is for lease, maybe it looks like something opportunistic. Maybe you give them a call and find out what's for lease and see how many, have they had trouble leasing that space, finding out a little bit more information, and then passing that information along to us in the office or someone else that you do business with. Maybe there's an opportunity for them to fill that lease, and you could make a referral fee on that as well. So there's a lot of different opportunities each and every day that you go by that you could just write down a phone number and make a phone call and make an introduction to yourself and find out a little bit more. And you never know. You never know what could happen. And then the number of hours that you market, you would take maybe 20 minutes and half an hour of those phone numbers on your day and give them a call and see what's going on and pass that information on to your commercial team. It's really not that difficult, and you don't have to be a guru in knowing commercial real estate. You don't need to know the ins and outs or the questions to ask. In fact, the less information that you know, the better questions you'll probably be asking. You have to understand that there's probably, there's probably $50 million in assets running around your local town that you're just not aware of that could be possible deals. And those deals come from people that are advertising online for rentals. Those are people that are looking for business opportunities, people that are looking for opening a restaurant. If you have people that you go to church with, people that you're involved with your children with, your social, your networking events, people are talking all the time. I mean, for example, just to give you an idea, there was a post the other day on Facebook from the owner of Gladstone's, and they're opening up, redeveloping a place in San Diego. It's awesome. They're opening another location, and just a year ago or a little bit more during COVID, they were talking about all the people that weren't working and the difficulties that everyone was having and the employees and so forth. And now they're talking about we're opening up a new location down in South County or in San Diego. And those opportunities are coming along. People are looking for new dreams. They're looking for going to business for themselves. They got laid off and they're like, what can I do? Can I buy a business? Could I buy a franchise? There's all sorts of different opportunities that come along with people that you know. You just have to be listening for the right conversations. And, tell me about the business that you're in. What were you thinking about doing? Have you ever thought about buying a business? Because I've got a team of people here in my office that work on business opportunities all the time. And I think that's what you have to think of, is that you're not going to know all the answers, but you have an opportunity to give us a referral to someone who may need our help. And the best thing is if we can't help them, we'll let you know. But those opportunities are everywhere in your day. And the thing about business opportunities in commercial real estate is that it's always kind of happening. Businesses are always expanding or contracting. Businesses are closing or opening. There's people that are involved in needing larger amounts of multifamily. And so they decide they need to buy something bigger because of tax reasons. Maybe they're moving out of state of California. Things are always happening in commercial real estate. And whether you choose not to or choose to hop on the train to find out what's going on is kind of up to you. So you can get in there and define some of these assets that are running around town that you've seen before, but you never ask questions. And the best part is, especially when you see things that are for sale, not by a brokerage, you'll see things that, they're looking for space, or you'll see something, or you'll see a property management company out and about. Stop in. Someone's looking around the building, taking measurements. Talk to the contractor. Talk to the plumber that's out there. See what's going on. See what they know. And just by doing those few little things, you would come across some information and say, hey, what are you doing? A big project? No, yeah, looks like they're getting it ready to possibly sell. And you learn that from the plumber. And then you look up and say, hey, you know what? I got an opportunity. I'm going to give our team a call and hey, this address, talk to the plumber. Looks like they're going to get it in the market. Here's the address. I'd like a referral fee if you guys are able to close it. Absolutely, you get a referral fee for letting us know that, because those are opportunities that we wouldn't have known about. And the thing about marketing for real estate, we always talk about 20, 30 people a day. This gets you to that number. And the more and more people you talk to about real estate, right, the more deals you're going to do, and that includes commercial. So you're able to do both of those types of, let's say, marketing pieces in your day, and they're all around you. You just have to be able to identify them by what you see going on. And I tell you, the first deal I did a couple of years ago was all about the electrician that was out there hoisting I think it was an air conditioning or something they were doing on top of a roof of a multifamily. And I asked them what they were doing, and so they were getting ready to replace it because they wanted to take it to market. And so we ended up selling that 16 unit deal just on the opportunity that we saw. So I guess it's just really important that you open your mind to commercial, knowing quite well that you're not going to be able to do the whole thing, and you don't need to be able to do the whole transaction and understand the terminology and the pricing and how everything works. But you have a team here that can obviously help you through it, and you can make good money on some of these opportunities. And depending on what you find and how involved you want to be or what you can do, we can work those things out. So those are the kind of things every day that you can be on top of. The off-market opportunities come from a lot of that vendor recognition. When you see trucks parked outside places, especially large places, It's a great opportunity to knock on and see what they're doing there to get an opportunity to find out. And maybe they've got a contact for the owner and would be willing to give it to you. Just depends if you're willing to ask for it. I'm trying to think, there's probably more than 50 million, I think at last, I'm trying to think, 50 million commercial properties. Actually 50 physical million commercial properties in the US. And the largest listing platforms in the US have about 1%, I think, of the total supply of commercial real estate. So you can see that what you see for sale is just the tip of the iceberg. So don't be confused by the fact that the market's dominated. You'd never be able to get a referral in because the competition's too tough. There's tons of commercial assets out there. There's a lot of reasons that people sell. There's a lot of reasons that people do it for tax reasons all day long, all the time, especially right now where 1031 exchanges, where people are trading properties for other properties, are becoming very popular and very volume oriented. It's huge right now because there's a possibility that that might change in the future, depending on the politics that are happening right now in our government. So we're not quite sure where that will land us, but I know a lot of people are interested in moving forward and taking advantage of taxes today and the trade today. And so a lot of people are moving on those as well. What else can we talk about? Oh, this is interesting too. I was looking at my notes here on my computer. When you're looking for people that are doing real estate and you ask the questions, have you thought about selling your home? Have you thought about moving? Are you moving, right sizing, downsizing? Another question you can ask your clientele is, and you'd be surprised at the answer, by the way, is, have you ever invested in real estate beyond your personal property, your personal residence? And sometimes you'll find that, of course, we own 5 or 6 duplexes, or there's really interesting answers that come with those questions. So you're busy looking for a single family home for someone who already owns 12 rental properties. You don't know why that they need your help, but you're helping them. Make sure you're asking those questions too, because you never know what they may say. They said, yeah, we're actually looking for, or we'll be looking to trade a couple of our properties for something we found out of state. And those questions come up. So if you're not asking those questions of your current clientele, that's something you should add to your marketing campaign, something you should be asking them as well. Because if you're emailing these people, calling these people on a regular basis, you should be asking those questions, because you never know. So, we'd like to sell all of our portfolio and move it out of the state. Do you have someone you could recommend? Of course, and you can make money and commission on those transactions just by asking those questions and having a phone number for us to call and consult with those clienteles of yours as well. So those are some of the things you can do in order to find out about opportunities in investment in commercial real estate. There are a lot of things that go into each type of asset class in commercial real estate, right? So you have multifamily, you've got how many, they call it doors in multifamily, right? They talk about square feet. So each of one of the units, how big are they, right? There's a lot of that terminology that's kind of floated around in the investment pool. There's difference for industrial, right, terminology. It's different for leases. It's different for offices. So there's so many nuances to commercial real estate and so many different specialties that if you don't have a wide variety of experience in those, it's very difficult to handle those transactions on your own, but you can learn through the process. And what's really neat about our office is that we're very pro teaching. And one of the things that I offer on our team here is that I'm willing to teach. I'm willing to teach you about the transaction that you've referred us to. If you want that kind of opportunity to learn about that particular deal that we're doing, I can teach that to you. I can teach you through it. And you can understand a little bit more, so that not only you're gaining commission dollars, but you're also gaining knowledge and experience by doing it or being a part of it or learning through the process. And a lot of opportunities come that way, and you can learn. And who knows, maybe someday you do a little bit more of the commercial transactions through our office here than you thought you ever would, which can make you a lot more money, a lot more opportunity. And sometimes it's a little bit more exciting than your day-to-day work that you do in residential. It's nice to mix it up a little bit. I totally can understand that as well. Does anyone have any questions so far? No?
You have one in the chat.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Hold on.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Yeah, would you? I can't find it.
Okay. This is from David. What is a qualified opportunity? Example, worthy as something I could profit from, and how would that be documented?
Well, a qualified lead is nothing more than a little story behind what you found. Like, let's say, for example, you've stumbled upon, like I use the plumber or the electrician. There's an opportunity there. Here's a phone number, give them a call. That's all that you really need, because if we make a deal out of it, you're getting paid. How do you get paid? There's a referral fee agreement. And that referral fee agreement, we have in writing. The broker signs the fee agreement, and the way that we do it is basically that particular property ownership. We make sure we cover a wide variety of different ways it can go down, leases, purchases, so that you're in on the deal. No one's trying to make money without you. I know every person that gives you a referral fee agreement should know that without you, it didn't happen. So it's documented through the referral fee agreement, and those are kept on file at the office. So if a deal went down with someone, let's say Gabby's doing the deal, and all of a sudden the deal closes and you didn't know anything about it, but it's on at the office on file, you get paid, which is fantastic. And it's a great way to do it. As far as qualifying the lead, I don't expect people to qualify leads coming to us. We just want the lead. You know, give us a phone number, give us a name, tell us a little bit. You know, I drove by and it looked like it was really in bad shape. Here's a phone number. I did a little research. I got the management company and the name for you. You know, give them a call. I think there's something going on there. We'll give them a call and we'll let you know.
I remember in Calabasas, there was a commercial agent that had moved over from, what is it, Marcus and Millichap?
Uh-huh.
And in a conversation, he had mentioned to me that this was an unexpected surprise that he would get leads from residential. He never really had imagined that, moving from a solely commercial office to the mixed.
Mm-hmm.
But he had actually received a couple leads from his coworkers that were residential.
Yeah, and it's really kind of a cool mix. And people ask all the time, you know, working in a mixed office where you have both, because there's opportunity for everybody. There's opportunity for everyone to make money in commercial, and you don't have to do a lot of work to get it. You know, if I can't remember, I'm trying to think, who was it? I can't remember off my hand, but they were talking to me about their apartment building, and we were talking about something totally different. And I started asking questions, and I said, there's an opportunity there. Get me the name of the lady you talk with, and I'll take it from there. I'll let you know. And we signed a fee agreement, and we haven't listed it yet over here in Long Beach, but it's an opportunity, and it's a big place, and we know at some point it's going to sell. So hopefully we'll be in on that, whether it's on the buy side or the sell side, but she's going to make money. And that's the nature of this thing too, is that, commercial real estate is a long period of time to wait for a closing. We're working with, for example, Jamba Juice right now. That was a referral with an operational manager who needed some places in Ventura County. And then we finally got introduced to the director of real estate out in Vegas for the franchisees. Now we're going to be working with a couple different franchisee owners. But the person that gave me the referral gets paid on all that. They get paid on the ones that we're doing in Ventura, and anything we wrap up in Vegas with other people in California, she gets that too. Because we really believe in making sure everyone makes money, because that's why we're all here. And being able to teach if you have the time, or even if it's just a flat referral fee where we're paying you for the opportunity, either way is good with us. And I think, David's comment, I think, about, finding them before they go on market. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's for sale already, it's one thing. But if you come across somebody, for example, that says to you, hey, David, I want to buy that apartment building, or I want to buy that industrial place, that's the same thing. I mean, you can give us that opportunity to help them as well. And so I'll tell you the standard is, to identify opportunities that are off market, that aren't for sale, obviously, because we know that if 1% of all the assets are online, everything else is free range, those are great opportunities. But if you've got somebody who wants to buy something and you haven't a clue how to do an industrial purchase, there's opportunity right there. I think the biggest thing to learn too, and we talk about this as a commercial group, is don't get greedy. And we're the same way. We pass along opportunity and compensation that is commensurate with what we're paying in the industry, but also we don't exclude a lot. So we make sure everyone's getting paid for as far as their referral can reach, because that's a good opportunity. And we know it's good business for us, obviously, when you give us more referrals. And if you're making money on a regular basis off the referrals that you give us and we do a good job, that's great. And if you get to learn along the way and you want to be involved, we can do that too, which is kind of neat. Does anyone have any questions about, let's do multifamily. Let's do 5 units, 10 units. And we have questions about that, questions about those types of opportunities that come across, questions that they'd like to ask about that.
How many doors, how many doors does it have to be classified as a multi-family? 2?
Technically, it's as a multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's got 2 and 4 units, it's a multifamily, right? I mean, 2 and 4 units. The way it's defined in lending, that's what really defines all of this. 1 to 4 units is considered residential, right? And that's just a lending space. Over 5 is commercial. Now, there's products out there that'll lend conventional in 5 units. When we start getting into 5, 6, 7, 8 plus units, the multifamily definition and from a lending perspective really takes over. And that changes your underwriting guidelines. It changes how you finance a building and what type of product that they offer. They go from 30-year fixed to something more, fixed for 10 years and adjustable and so forth. So the definition of commercial real estate in multifamily is defined by its lending underwriting guidelines, right? And the way they view that. So that's, traditionally commercial real estate has always been more, industrial warehousing. People associate that with that leasing. You drive through San Bernardino and Riverside and you see the trains pulling up to 150,000 square feet of space. For a fact that that's commercial real estate. That's happening today, right? So the definition of that and how to handle some of the nuances in each asset class takes a specialty in its own right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said a little bit ago, a lot of vacancies. So coming from the property management world, for years, in the commercial aspect of a lot of vacancy, are we talking 20% or 50%? What is that?
As far as a market, or is like you're talking like an individual property?
To identify a need, or something that we could pass along. Hey, this has a lot of vacancy.
Right,
for
right there.
improvement.
It'd be perfect. Like you drive by a retail center and you see, you know, 5 or 6 empty spaces. You know, hey, this is an opportunity there. There's something's happening there. You're not quite sure. Like I'll give you a perfect example. In Long Beach, on the corner of PCH and Loins, there's a retail center. And unfortunately, on the end unit, the restaurant owner had passed away. And they never filled the spot. Great little spot, right? Piccarelli's, great Italian restaurant. But they never filled the spot after he passed away. What you didn't know was they weren't filling the spot because they were busy negotiating the sale, which just completed like 2 weeks ago for 16.2 million. So when you start to see vacancies in a retail center, something's going on beyond just trying to fill those spots. And that's where we want to be involved, to help those people either come to some conclusion about letting us lease there, help them fill it, help them sell it, or maybe even help them trade it to something bigger. But something's going on. And when you see things like that, or if you drive by something, you see, like I see, you see repairmen out on top of buildings or digging holes and doing things, stop your car, get out, get out and go, hey guys, what's going on over here? And give them an idea. And you get a phone number and a name, an address, there's something going on. Be part of, generating more income for yourself, because that's what we do. I mean, we've got the technology platforms to get a hold of people that we know in certain asset classes and what's going on. But, when you drive by a place, that's how I get interested in, like, I like to know what's going on there. That looks like an interesting opportunity. Let me check it out. And you never know what might come of it. And that's where the real magic lies, is in your ability to be able to just peel away 1 or 2 layers of an onion, so to speak, and say, here's a phone number and a name. There's a guy named Jerry, but this is a phone number you can call, and we'll give you credit for it. It's okay. We're not looking for up on a silver platter. We're good at finding the people or where they are, even if they're 5 removed and 6 LLCs and 1 C Corp. We'll find them. We know where to find them. That's what we do. Does anyone have any questions about multifamily, for example? Let's talk about multifamily. When you do a multifamily deal at 4 units versus 100 units, there's a lot that changes, but there's a lot that stays the same. You need rental agreements, right? You need estoppel certificates. You need a lot of the same things that you need at 4 units that you need at 100 units. But there's also a lot that changes, because as larger you get, the more the money that comes in off that asset is important to the purchase. What do I mean by that? Well, if you go buy a 3 unit down on Belmont Shore right now, and you were to take your 30% down and figure out how I'm going to finance this and make money, it doesn't make money, but people are buying them anyway. So they put 60% down in order to get a couple $100 a month in income. In the multifamily space at 100 units, people aren't necessarily willing to do that with their cash. They want it to perform with least amount down and the most money they can get per month. So those things start to change. Who buys those? What type of person buys those? Who's in a trade? Who's not in a trade? That's when it begins to be different. So that's why it's so different doing business that way, because the people their basis are those people. Those are people that we talk to all the time. That's what we market to them. And people in residential don't always cross over because they don't have access to those people, and they're not accessing those people all the time. But that being said, it takes me back to the point I made before. If you ask the question to the person that you're listing with or you're buying with, have you thought about investing in other real estate or commercial real estate? You never know the answer you may get. Well, yeah, my dad or my relative or I do this all the time. vacant land ever an opportunity? All the time, and twice on Sundays. It's absolutely, vacant land is a great opportunity. Depending on where it's at, obviously it depends, what opportunity it is. But right now, vacant land's a very, very good opportunity. And it doesn't matter where it is as far as in the process of being developed, or it can just be raw land. We get a lot of opportunities coming. Next year will be a big raw land year for us. So we're looking forward to those as well. And because of our experience in this group we have here at this office, we've got a wide variety of different specialties. And we can handle raw land, we can handle multifamily, we can handle commercial, industrial, we can handle business opportunities. Let us decide what may or may not be a good opportunity. And if we can, we'll give you a name of somebody who can, and you can give the referral to them. Which the last thing you want is what we call a daisy chain of people involved in your deal. So at the end of the day, all of a sudden you get to the end of the cup and you have no water in there because you paid everyone else. So we don't do that. If we can't do the deal, we don't think it's a good opportunity for us, we'll make sure you get on the phone with somebody who can in our group, through KW Commercial or outside the group as well. Where we go. So I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, but if the agent has a tear down, could you kind of help me out here?
Yeah, sure. I'll explain. Right. So I have a business partner and we are getting a listing that's a complete tear down. It's just like it's not disgusting, but you can't really do a lot with it. But the lot size is about 7,000 square feet and it's in a good area that's up and coming. So it would be a really good opportunity for an investor. So when you're pitching a property that's a tear down to an investor, what should you highlight and like what kind of specs are important to somebody who's investing?
Well, if you're pitching it to somebody who you think would be developing or tearing it down, you need, obviously the square foot of the lot, you need the comparables of the area for land. What's a per square foot cost for land in that area. And you can get that. The MLS will give you some of that information. And then you want to know zoning. And then you also want to know in the city that it's in, what have there been changes to the general plan for zoning for some of those areas. I know that the governor just changed zoning for, single family areas for multifamily and so forth. So knowing what the opportunity is really helps you figure out who to pitch it to, because you can pitch it to a lot of people. Pitching it to the right person is really important. I'm sure we've all had those transactions where, we can't figure out why we haven't closed this deal because we keep pitching it to the wrong person. The person with no money, the person that pretends to have money but doesn't, the person that can't develop but wants to, right? You can come up with 1,000 different scenarios. Person that wants to buy a single family home but has no down payment, those types of things. So knowing that information is important.
Okay, awesome. One more question. So you said as residential realtors, it's also good for us to ask our clients if they're interested in investing in properties or maybe other investments or if they have them.
Sure.
So I've definitely had residential clients be like, oh yeah, I'm looking for an investment opportunity when they're looking at houses. So how do we look for investment opportunities for them and see that? Or are you suggesting that we refer them to you?
Well, no, like for example, like if you ask if you've been thinking about investing and they say, yeah, we would like to invest, you want to keep asking questions. So question would be, well, what kind of real estate are you looking for? You're looking for, 4 units, 10 units? Are you looking for a retail type, investment, what have you been looking for and what have you seen? You get an idea of what they're looking for, and then kind of narrow it down. And, if there's an opportunity for you to get that information, you're going to know right away whether you can handle that on your own or you can't. What I will tell you is follow your intuition and don't get involved in the transaction that you have no idea what you're doing, because you will not make money. And you're the only judge of that. And when it comes to the point where you don't know what you're doing, give us a call.
Awesome. Can you post your contact info in the chat?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else have questions?
Any questions? Come on, something good. How about a stumper?
It's Monday, why not?
Why not, right? Oh, there we go.
This is Monty. Jason, do you mentor or coach anyone outside your group?
I'm open to it. I do. Just depends on what you need and what you're looking for.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
thank
Give
you.
me- Yeah,
I'll reach out to you.
yeah, absolutely. It's interesting about commercial real estate is that it's so different, your day-to-day activities and what we talk about. I've found a lot of residential, or I shouldn't say residential, I found a lot of commercial agents that are hiding as residential agents, which is really funny because they fall in love with it right away. Falling in love with the idea of it and doing it is one thing, but you have to be prepared. If someone wants to come over and just start practicing commercial real estate, it's kind of like auditing your books. Do you have 24 months of income in your bank account? Was your wife or your husband allow you to do this and make a change? Because that's a big one. There's a lot of risk involved because you don't turn over properties in 30 days, 45 days. Even when the market's hot, it can take you 6 months to close a really good deal. It can take you 2 years or more to close one that is a real challenge. So you need to be prepared financially, fiscally responsible, and the ability to learn obviously is huge. But some people get surprised by, oh my God, I haven't closed the deal. In commercial real estate, we always say, I had a really good year last month. Because sometimes it takes to the very end to get it done. So you never know. And that's just the reality of the cycle of commercial.
So Jason, one more question. Have you seen have you seen agents do both commercial and residential, and then they use residential, as you said, to pay the bills for some time while they get the commercial transactions done?
I have seen that. The difficult part of that is where you spend your time. Because you only have so much time in a day. And, killing yourself for this job is not a good plan, right? And having a good life and whatever family and life means to you, I think is really important. Being happy, and when you're trying to transition into both, I think the best way that I've ever seen it done is starting the process by referral and a little bit of teaching, and then kind of taking one asset class and saying, okay, I really like this. So I give you a referral for an apartment building that turns into something really big and fun and pays you a good income. And then you start saying, I'm going to go down that path and just learn all I can about multifamily. I'm just going to stick to that and just kind of over time make that part of my repertoire of business, and slowly but surely get to know people, get to know owners, and make that a part of your networking and so forth. And then eventually have that part of your business and doing both. And then, for the person that's really into high level goals, maybe you do both and don't lose either. Maybe you split that off and get a person for your residential team that's doing your residential work, right? Think big. I'm thinking, I'm going to focus on commercial and have my residential team as well. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, sorry I missed the early part of your talk because I didn't know about this meeting. And as soon as I came, I've been wanting to hear you for a while now. Quick question, two questions again. So what does your typical day look like? And second is, any thoughts about this SB9, SB10?
Typical day. I wish I had a typical day. So when I start the day, what I'm hoping to accomplish is to get to all of my marketing in the morning. Not the phones, but the marketing, emails, follow up on deals, talking to people that have called me, return phone calls, that kind of thing. And hopefully I can get that done before lunch if I don't have an appointment or something. And then the afternoon, about 3 o'clock, that's when I pick up the phone and start calling on my clients. And the thing about it is that it's a mindset, right? So let me give you an example. I had an off-market deal, 16 units in Long Beach, and I had an opportunity to get it to market, right? And I love this property. I mean, I knew this property, I breathed this property, right? So I decided I'm gonna sell this thing. So all I did at the end of the day was I made 5 phone calls to people that had bought similar types of buildings, cap rates, the same like square footage numbers in that area, right? And I was gonna sell it to somebody or at least get an offer written. And I got the offer written and I got it done. It took me like 2 weeks, talk to the right people, get them interested in all that, right? That's what my day looks like. Because some days I just get off the phones or I look and I, you know what, I'm going to pick something to sell today. And, you know, that's one thing that I would kind of rub off on the residential side. A lot of times we don't, as realtors, we don't sell anything. If we got a listing to sell, it's easy. But if you got no listings, what are you selling? Well, go on the MLS and find something you really like and go sell that to somebody. Pick it up in your hand and go sell it. Well, that's what my day looks like in commercial, because I've got a boatload of buyers and I can go sell anything to any one of them at one time. I may be rejected, but I'm pitching deals. So in the afternoon, I'm pitching deals to people. I'm writing letters of intent. I'm doing things to make things happen. And that's, you know, that's what the day looks like.
That's very good, Jason. Thanks a lot. That's a really good approach. That's what I'm doing also. I don't have my own listings for commercial, so I'm just trying to pitch properties to buyers that I have. So that's important. Actually, sometimes new people like us have questions like, you know, hey, what document to use for what transaction, and basic things like, hey, how do I even know for sure that I'll get paid my commission and it's not even listed? So what kind of agreements do we need to sign with the listing agent? So for basic questions like that, I would like to have someone to call, and I hope I can do that with you, right?
Sure. Just give me a call. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Do you also have any questions or concerns or? I think one of the things I want everyone to take away from today is to understand that if you trust your ability to be able to get new business, trust your ability to identify things that are outside of your normal scope of business, and walk through the fear of asking the questions and getting it to the right person in commercial. Even if it's a dead end, doesn't matter. I mean, what is getting a phone number and a name really cost you? Nothing. And know that you can make it part of your revenue stream in you know, what we offer in our offices here is a blend, and you can come for questions and answers. And you know, we love to talk about this stuff and we love to share. I love to share a lot. And by helping people make more money, I make more money, but at the same time, I become better at what I do. And it's very important of my process to help people make deals out of a phone number and a name, because it makes me better at my craft and allows me to reach my goals as well. And it can be part of your business plan to do commercial deals by referral and then learn over time. You know, I mean, I really want people to understand that it's a total reality about it, and there's always somebody you can refer it to. You know, if we're not the perfect blend for that, then we'll get you the right person, because we're not, you know, we don't take every deal. We don't do business with everybody. You know, just because somebody referred us, let's say you referred us to somebody and we get on the phone with them, we realize that this isn't somebody we want to do business with. We'll tell you why, and we'll give you some phone numbers of people that might want to do business with them. But it's a possibility, and dream big with this stuff. You know, dream big. I mean, the multifamily and commercial deals, you know, they're larger transactional sizes, and they can make you some good commission dollars, and you can learn a lot. And hopefully someday you buy your own rental building and start making some passive income. And that's when that's when the big bucks start rolling in.
Absolutely, Jason. I'm determined to do that. So we'll see. But thanks so much for your offer of guidance. I'll reach out to you.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
I mean, talking about big things and chasing stuff, right? I actually called, and this is just, I'll take a minute here. I called an agent for a condo listing somewhere in the East LA. And I was talking to him. I just asked him, like, how did your day go? And he just started talking about something else. He said, hey, I have a big listing of a land, you know, there's 1,400 acres, and we can build 500 homes on that. And, you know, he was like all about that. And I said, hey, what can I do? Can I help you sell that? And he said, okay, if you want to, right, why not? So I called a few builders I knew, and they said it's too big for them. And so I called the corporate builders, the ones the national level, and I've been chasing it down over there to see what happens. So
that's the kind of thing that you need to follow up on.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, those are the types of things that once you get your teeth in there, you need some help. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if there's an opportunity there, because some of those deals never go anywhere. You know, sometimes you get a lot of wealthy people that have a tremendous amount of ADD. They're all over the place. They make lots of money, but you're not quite sure how, right? And they've got tons of money. They got tons of land. They want to do this. They want to do that. Doesn't mean you want to do business with them, but there's always opportunity as well.
Yeah.
SB9, SB10. If the SB10 is the density issue, you just got to keep track of, I mean, what opportunities come up. You're not a developer, so as density, I think SB10 is the density one. Is that right? Oh,
yes,
the housing
splitting the lots and then building duplex on that, so you can make with a fourplex on a piece of land, right? That's what it means total.
Yeah, I think how does it affect us as realtors? You know, there's opportunity there if the lot's big enough, but you're not a developer, so you're not. I mean, unless you're developing property, you don't have to worry about it. What you have to worry about is getting to the right people. You know, I mean, that's.
So the question becomes, do we chase developers, right? Is that as a strategy, should we chase developers now? Because we know that, hey, we can get this deal. I mean, if they buy, and what happens to the valuation of these properties now? The SB10 actually allows you to make 10 units if you're near a public transit system and whatnot, right? So
yeah, here's what I'll tell you. Work on getting the listings. Nothing's really changed. Work on getting the listings. The developers will have their own valuation models. The other ones are going to tell you what they're willing to pay. It doesn't matter what you think, because they're going to tell you what they think. And at the end of the day, what you need to do is really just focus on the listings. What it means for us as realtors is that there's more people maybe possibly going to be buying those listings and have some sort of business plan to make more money, because it's changed. The game's just changing. So you just focus on the listings.
So putting your investor hat on right now, Jason, like I was planning to buy 3 condos by the end of the year for our investments. I mean, what happens to that? Like, should I change the plan? Should I wait? Should I look at what's going on and how valuations change? How does it impact?
How does what impact that process?
Well, the SB9 and the SB10, right? What does it do to valuations and all kinds of things for small people like like me who are trying to buy individual condos to rent it out?
If you want to go deep like that, give me a call. I'll go deep with you and we can talk about it. Because there's so many nuances to that, and then you're asking, how's the future value of what you're doing now affect, 2 years from now? If you find out, you can call me and let me know.
Well, yeah, with the spreadsheets, you put everything in there, right? But
Yes, there's spreadsheets for everything, for sure. Well, it's 2:00. I know there's other shows coming on this channel. So I appreciate everyone's time. If anyone has any questions, my contact information is in there, and I'll be back next month with probably some more commercial real estate. We'll probably go over a particular asset class next time, on what's all the hype. And if someone has any needs or things they want to go over specifically, let the office know, and we'll go over those at that time again.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.